Warm welcome to Arise Exchange to all our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world here on Arise News. I am Osun Gubernatorial. Let's get started. As always on our markets today, the third trading session of the week. The market continued to decline 0.04%, and Tuesday we did 0.06%. Today investors continue to pull back a little bit. On the volume side, we're down below the 254 million we did on Tuesday. So the market also down in net naira value to 1.43, and we also lost a few figures around here to 27.79. We're doing about 27.81 trillion in total value of all listed equities. That's what you call equity cap on the NGX. And of course, the index, the headline is reading 51,556.5 for today. And just a very gentle start to the month of July. So let's unpack the numbers a little bit as always and look at your volume drivers for the third session this week. Transcorp shares remain among the most actively traded at 15.51 million today. Jitco came in with a whole lot bigger in terms of the net naira value, 267.08 million. UPDC was on the third line yesterday, retained that today at 11.96 as active trading in their real estate company. UBA shares has been actively traded as well since the start of the week, 10.55 million this Wednesday. And Champs PLC came in from the ICT business segment, 7.82 million ordinary shares, a bit of a small cap company listed on the NGX. So that's just about your trading day in volume terms and value terms. In percentage terms, in terms of gains, Academic Press in publishing was number 5 yesterday, came up today, 9.79%. A bit of a mid-cap company, not strong enough to move the needle, as it were. Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC trading 75, finished 870. Japol Gold up by 7.41%. UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust, which is a financial service like a mutual fund, and the real estate climbed 4.35. Investors traded up paper a bit bigger, and Chance PLC share price climbed 4.17% on the back of that 7.8 million ordinary shares of the company that you saw earlier. So we're going to the downside, as it were. 10% down for Name Insurance, big name in the insurance space, trading 342. Champion Breweries today down by 10%. It was International Breweries on Tuesday. Union Bank was a major drag today on the market, down at 555, down by 9.76, finishing line 555 on the trading board. UPL down by 8.9, and RT Briscoe finishing 37 kobo on the counter. So let's get the other shares into the market. Let's look at the West African trading day. 207.12 after a big jump yesterday on the BRVM on the back of the Bank of Africa of Mali's gain. The market softened today. The composite fell to 207.12. They just go to the Ghana market, been flattish for the second session, 25.45.96. Then, of course, you know the Nigeria story already on the NGX, 0.06. So across West Africa, a bit of a skittish Wednesday across the equity space. Let's go into the news. Tomorrow is the 7th of July, so the 2022 edition of the NGX CEO Roundtable, which is headlined by the Finance Minister, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, and Deni Adebayo, the Minister in charge of Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as the head of the SEC. Let me know you good at will be starting at about 10 o'clock in the morning. The 2-hour program online will look at the various aspects of the capital market and how CEOs and listed companies are taking advantage of the Nigerian securities market. That's one event you don't want to miss online, virtually speaking, tomorrow. Yesterday, the head of the SEC in Nigeria, let me do you good at played host to his counterpart from Ghana, as well as other market officials that were on the trading floor of the NGX on Tuesday. President Buhari has rejigged his cabinet, and 7 new ministers are now onboarded. I'm sure you have that already in the news. The whole Trans-Sahara gas pipeline coming all the way from Nigeria, all the way through to the Sahel, through the Mediterranean, onto the Middle East, is the new poster boy for the Ukraine crisis, where Europe is looking for alternative gas or energy. And of course, finally, Ghana's Eurobonds are now trading higher. At least some of the papers are trading at least about 1% to the upside because President Nana Akufo-Addo's administration has decided to look for about $3 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund. And of course, the sad news earlier today of the passing of the OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Bakindo, who was suspected to retire from office as the OPEC Secretary General at the end of this month. Late this afternoon, the OPEC headquarters in Vienna released a statement, a one-page statement, saying that the organization of the petroleum exporting countries presents its compliments to the Ministry of European and International Affairs and in other international organizations on the passing of the profound sorrow on the tragic passing of His Excellency Mr. Mohamed Sanusi Bakindo, the Secretary General. That was yesterday, the 5th of July. So the OPEC says it has opened a signature, a condolence, a physical condolence book will be opened for the OPEC Secretariat in Vienna in the period between tomorrow the 7th of July till the 29th of July. And of course, there'll be an electronic condolence register which is opened and available online for anyone who wants to sign electronically onto the condolence register for the passing of the Nigerian-born Mohamed Bakindo, the immediate past Secretary General of OPEC. Of course, there's a board meeting of OPEC which is being scheduled. We're getting sources in Vienna telling us about this within the last hour. Things are moving a bit rapidly. OPEC officials are meeting as to what happens next as the Mohamed Bakindo died in Abuja on Tuesday. So we're sticking with the world of oil and energy on the show tonight. What is the actual quantity of petrol consumed daily in Nigeria? That appears to be a very difficult figure to determine, with those in charge also proving very evasive. Now, the House of Representatives is threatening to sanction government officials who refuse to cooperate with the legislature in its investigation. Our Arise correspondent Tuji Olanipekon fights this report.
Going by figures from the oil sector operators, the federal government is subsidizing every litre of petrol consumed by Nigerians with at least 600 naira. This also means government is spending about 1.2 trillion naira on the fuel subsidy every month. However, there have been different figures on the quantity consumed daily, ranging from 55 million to 72 million litres. This is the mystery this House of Representatives committee is set to unravel. The committee has been mandated to find out the actual quantity of PMS consumed daily, but the investigating hearing suffers a setback as heads of major government agencies and ministries refuse to honor the invitation. This did not go down well with the lawmakers.
I want to make it very clear that if you conceal information, there are so many ways to get such information. You only run yourself into trouble by concealing information. The topic for this investigation is a very controversial issue. I'm sure you are all aware of that. It is the volume of consumption that determines how much subsidy that you have to pay with Nigerian government funds. Huge sums of money are being spent on subsidy payments. Nigerians don't know how much fuel we are consuming that warrants the payment of such humongous amounts. Ministry of Finance, not here also. Central Bank of Nigeria, not here. Office of Accountant General, the popular Office of Accountant General is not here, represented by anybody. Federal Inland Revenue Services, not here. I mean, this is not fair.
In a nation where we have an annual appropriation of about 17 trillion and we're spending over 6 trillion on subsidy alone, almost half of the nation's revenue, and nobody takes this seriously. I'm not too sure whether we want the nation to succeed or whether we want it to go completely under. And we must take these things very seriously. The people are queuing on the streets everywhere. You can no more buy diesel.
After this initial setback, The committee commenced hearing with industry players, making submissions and clarifying issues.
Because we're not refining now, all the refineries are on turnaround maintenance. Every PMS comes from the coast. They are important. So when the vessels arrive, they are then discharged into the coastal depots. So, and those from the coastal depots, PMS is then trucked up country to Abuja, to Kano, to everywhere. So the depots that are particularly of importance are those coastal depots, which is where we have provided all the detail.
We are critical stakeholders in this business. A situation where we don't know what is happening, where my member will come to any depot, they pay, they take their product, they go to their filling station, is very difficult.
A point of correction, sir, if I may state this, IPMAN cannot come to us for our data. We can give you our data, but if they come to us, we can't give them. We are partners, yes. They have their businesses, they have their investments. But an investor on a depot of 3.5 billion is not the same thing as an investor on a petrol station of 100 million. They are far apart, sir. So we will give you our data, everything to the last. But asking IPMAN to come and give it to us, we are different associations entirely. We sell to them. In fact, you can use their own records to corroborate ours or use ours to corroborate theirs.
With the unending queues at petrol stations across the country, the soaring price of diesel, rising cost of transportation and erratic power supply, the lawmakers say they are determined to address some of these challenges. The hearing has now been adjourned to later dates when other key players in the industry are expected to appear before the committee.
And then sticking with the Nigeria's energy industry, Indigenous Energy Group Adova PLC says the delay in submitting its financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2021 to the Nigerian Exchange was caused by the process of reconciliation of its accounts following the acquisition of Angel Retail and Supply Limited. That was in late of 2021 by the listed energy company. In a regulatory filing to the Nigerian Exchange Limited, that's the NGX, Oladeyinde Nelson Cole, the company's secretary, said that the reports will be released on or before Friday this week, while reassuring investors of the safety of their investments. Earlier on the Global Business Report with Ruti Sudri, Lumide Adeosun, the chairman of MOMAN, which is the main major oil marketers association, who also doubles as the managing director of Adova, discussed the outcomes of the high-level meeting this week between oil marketers and the NNPC and what to expect from the company's 2021 financial statements.
Indeed, we had a stakeholders meeting. It's part of the normal course of engagement that we have with an NPC. I think what was different about that meeting was that there was a clear realization that in the interest of Nigerians, in the interest of humanity, in fact, something needs to be done about the current distribution challenges that we're experiencing. We agreed that all parties needed to come to the table in a much more constructive and collaborative way. The meeting was graced, of course, by the Honourable Minister, which lent some impetus and gravitas to the discussions, which were really focused on what do we need to do as an industry to make sure that we are pulling together and managing this transition period very well. The landings that we reached there were very specific, that obviously you don't agree anything at these sort of large meetings. It was really an occasion for the minister and for the GMD to really show that the discussions and the conclusions that we arrive at as a working group, which will be a breakout from that session, would be adhered to and would have their support from the very top. But I think more pressing than how that conversation went is the reality of what's happening on the streets today. Right, it's that we really need to do absolutely everything we can as a coordinated industry, because there's no point in fixing one part of the value chain and leaving the other, because it always comes back to bite. That we all need to pull together with a singular mission of making sure that we don't deteriorate the quality of life of Nigerians. We reduce the needs for people to queue in spite of the bigger macro picture that's happening in the country. And I think that was achieved at that meeting. As we unfold the discussions, we will obviously in the true spirit of transparency and communication, open communication, speak to the country again and keep the public abreast of how things are moving.
All right, good stuff. And again, I apologize for not introducing you, Olumide Adeosun, Chair of MOMAN, Major Oil Marketers of Nigeria. Also, as CEO of Ardova, please, you only have less than 30 seconds. Can you quickly, I know that you've announced that the financials for 2021 will be released either on or before Friday. Can you give us any preview as to what to expect for Ardova's 2021 financials, very briefly if you can?
We'll be doing the 2021 as well as the Q1 2022 results. 2022 results will be positive, and I think 2021 results will also reflect where we are as a company. We are in great shape. We're making investments for the future. But as I have not filed those papers with the NGX yet, it would be inappropriate to disclose anymore. Be more than happy to come back on the show once those results are official and share.
Watching Arise News here. Of course, we're crossing now to Osogbo, the state capital of Osogbo, the Osun state capital for the gubernatorial debate for the 2022 governorship election. We're handing you live to our team on the ground in Osogbo. Thank you very much. We'll keep watching here.
Debate 2022. I'm Ruben Abati.
Hello everyone, I am Ngozi Alebu. We are live from the state capital of Osun State, right here in Osogbo.
Welcome back. You're watching the live coverage of Osun State Governorship Debate 2022, put together by Arise News Channel in conjunction with Enough is Enough.
That's right. Yes, indeed. And we're live in Osogbo with 5 distinguished and distinctive governorship candidates who have resolved to take up the mantle of leadership in the southwestern state of Osun, created in 1991 from the old Oyo state on 27th of August 1991.
As a prerequisite to certain rules of engagement in political public service, the 5 candidates were selected through various credible, transparent, and impartial platforms in accordance with their vision and mission, programs, and agenda for the people of Osun State.
And while it is barely 10 days to the governorship election in Osun State, and popularly called Ile Omoluabi, otherwise known as the land of the virtuous, as a familiar tradition in politics, of course, a debate where candidates meet to state how they hope to achieve their various objectives for the people is very necessary ahead of the July 16 election.
Indeed, the debate is necessary to help further articulate to millions of their viewers the leadership capabilities and how they intend to govern the people based on their goals.
Well, today's debate is viewed across the globe from various broadcast medium, both conventional and online. It will be transmitted in both English and Yoruba. On Osun Broadcasting Corporation, that's OSBC, Raypa 95.1 FM, and of course on www.arise.tv, which you can watch on channels 44 on GoTV, 416 on DSTV, and 519 on Sky. You can also follow us on Twitter at Arise TV with hashtag Osun Gov Debate and Osun Decides.
As a 2 hours debate, it is divided into 3 segments. The first segment will deal with setting the ground rules, opening remarks by each candidate, and taking questions on Osun State economy. And we intend to be very strict with timekeeping.
Absolutely. Well, the second segment will engage the candidates on security. Now, that's a burning issue in the country as we speak, and of course, socio-political issues. Now, while the third and last segment will focus on questions from our viewers via our social media platforms.
And to foster an atmosphere of mutual friendliness, all candidates have agreed to abide by the rules set aside for this debate by keeping to the time allotted to them for expression, with no usage of abusive words or hate speech.
And in addition, statements made by candidates will be fact-checked by Dubawa, a Nigerian indigenous fact-checking, verification, and media literacy organization with presence across Anglophone West Africa and a signatory of the International Fact-Checking Network, IFCN. We'll begin by bringing in each candidate in an alphabetical order of the acronyms of their parties and not their names. Acronyms of their parties. Well, at this juncture, our live audience will be allowed to clap for the candidates as they make their way to the stage. It will be the only rare opportunity for such purpose. Well, first, let's begin in earnest by inviting Dr. Akin Ogumbi, candidate of the Accord Party.
Next is Adegboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress, the present governor of Osun State.
And while the applause is going on, I'd like to humbly invite Yusuf Lasun as a candidate of the Labour Party. Yusuf Lasun is the candidate of the Labour Party. Thank you very much.
Next is Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party. Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, is next. Well, okay, maybe
right.
Senator Adeleke is not yet here.
We hope
we're expecting him. He will probably join us in the course of the program.
Yes, and finally, Goke Omigbodun of the Social Democratic Party, SDP candidate.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and our esteemed cooperative audience, thank you for being part of this program. Let's stand for the national anthem of Nigeria and that of Osun State. The national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's all be seated. Well, let's get this. It's a very simple one, and we'll go in the same alphabetical order in which the four of you gentlemen came to the stage. Why do you think that you are the best man for the job? Why should the people of Osun State vote for you July 16th? And I will start with the following alphabetical order. The candidate of the Accord Party. Just go in that.
Sorry, before you answer, let's remind the audience here, no clapping, no cheering, no jeering. We do not expect any reactions whatsoever from you so that we can hear the candidates very loud and clear. Thank you for cooperation.
Good evening, stakeholders. My name is Akin Ogunbiyi. Primary school, Ile-Ogbo. I went from there to Luther King's College, Ile-Ogbo. From there to University of Ife. Where I went to economics, class upper. From there to insurance, and I'm a chartered insurance institute. I'm an associate chartered insurance institute of London. I went to further studies. I had my master's, executive master's degree in Nefara, University of Nefara, Spain, and there I've attended so many leadership courses. I went to Yale University. I am an alumnus of Oxford University. Also, I went to Harvard University. I'm the founder of Mutual Benefit Assurance, a company that has currently employing over 5,000 staff. From insurance, we went to conglomerate. We are into oil and gas, crude oil production. We are into real estate development. We are into banking. In fact, Mutual Benefit Microfinance Bank got an award within 6 months of its operation. And again, we are into real estate development. From this, you can see, have the comprehensive experience, education, and capacity to be able to lead Osun. I'm an investor, and as an investor, I want to replicate what I did in the private sector. Leadership is about result. Result, public sector, or sector. Corporate. I've done it. To turn things around in Osun State. We have always depended on civil service.
The people of Osun should vote you the next governor. And your time is up, actually. We will come to the time when we'll ask you the specific questions, please. Thank you very much. Okay. We appreciate that. The incumbent governor of Osun State, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, you have 2 minutes to respond to the same question as to why the people of Osun should give you another 4 years to be governor of the state.
Well, thank you very much. My CV is known. I'm a graduate of Unilag, degree and master's. And after then, I've served in different capacities in industries for about 30 years before I joined politics in Osun. I was the chief of staff for 8 years. And by the grace of Almighty God, I'm the current governor for another 3.5 years. I believe I have sufficient knowledge of governance, both in private and public service. I've been able to marry the synergy between private sector and public sector to the extent that you can deliver without going through a lot of bureaucracy. I've done so much within the 3.5 years in the area of education, infrastructure, security, welfare. I've been paying full salary and pensions since I became the governor, full, not half. And I think I've done so much in the area of infrastructure. I've constructed no less than 500 kilometers of roads. I've rehabilitated and revitalized health centers. I have no less than 320 health centers across the entire state. I've done well in the area of security. I'm one of the governors that put together the issue of Amateku, which is our own network to take care of the security challenges in our region. I believe, given the level of my achievement, 3.5 years, I could be trusted and I could be given the opportunity again to serve. In any case, the first 3.5 years I'm talking about, I have only 2 years that I've actually spent, given the challenges that we have in terms of security issues.
Governor Yetola, time up. It's out there on the screen. Everyone can see. Honorable Lasun Yusuf, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Sulaiman Lasun Yusuf. I was born in Ilobu 61 years ago, had my primary education in Ilobu. My secondary education took me to Ife Community High School, where in 1979, I wrote my WAEC and I made a Division 1. It is on record that I was a government scholar when I was in secondary school. I later attended the then University of Ife, where I graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. And it is also on record that during my primary service year, I did my NYC at Shell Development Petroleum Corporation. I had a brief stint in oil service company, later joined the civil service before the creation of Osun State out of Oyo State. Since 1992, I've been in private sector. I'm an entrepreneur, an investor, and I'm also a politician. I started my political career in 1983, and since then, it has been an upward trajectory. If you recall, I was a member of the House of Representatives between 2011 and 2019, and I became the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. And I also served as the first Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. While I was in the House of Representatives, I served on different committees like population, science and technology, appropriation, finance, and in fact, as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, I was the chairman of the Committee on Constitution Review. And before I left, part of the Constitution, part of my own bill, was the bill on whoever that has acted on behalf of the principal for a term and won an election into the office for another term cannot go for the third time. I want the people of Osun State to know that I can serve, I'm honest, I'm credible, and I'm intelligent.
Well,
thank you very much.
Okay, yes. Honorable Goke Omigbodu, your turn. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Goke Omigbodu, and I believe that I'm the best candidate for this job for a number of reasons. Number one, I was born and bred here in Osogbo. I attended primary school here. All my schooling were in public schools. I started primary school all since primary school Osogbo. From there, I proceeded to Government College, Ibadan. My school number 3062, so authentic, I was at Government College, Ibadan. From there, I went to the University of Ife. I got my bachelor's in architecture, master's in architecture from the University of Ife then, before it became Obafemi Awolowo University. And then after that, I also got some other forms of education. I have a master's in business administration from the University of Ilorin, a master's in geographical information system from the University of Ibadan, a postgraduate diploma in education from the Usmanu Danfodio University in Sokoto, the American Institute of Architects. I am also a chartered estate surveyor and valuer. I am registered by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. With all of this, you can see that I have such a wide educational background. And then coming into career, I have been chairman of the Property Development Corporation here in Osun State. I've been special advisor to the governor. And I dare say that I'm lucky to have also worked with an international organization. I was state program monitoring advisor of the United Nations Development Program. I was the most outstanding in the year 2003 in all of the states of the Federation. And I understand the problem of Osun because in and out of government, I have been here. I was born here, I was bred here, and I recognize that what we need to end in Osun is that thing that I will properly define later because I see time running out. Thank you for now.
Great, all four of you gentlemen, fantastic resumes. We hope that at the end of this debate and question and answer session, that the people of Osun State would be better. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to start with the issues of the economy with Mr. Omigbodu. We'll start with you again.
Yes.
Now, unemployment is a major challenge, not just in Nigeria generally.
Yes.
And here the figures have gone up despite promises to address that. What do you intend to do in that regard to create jobs and opportunities for the people and improve upon the economy of the state?
It's really very sad that we are in this kind of situation that there are still those that are left in school because ASU is on strike for God knows how many months now. So those ones are still waiting for that unemployment market. We need to do something about this because this is all about the young people. And if I look at Osun State very well, the people between the ages of 15 and 64 constitute about 60%, actually 59.8% of the population. These are the people in the working age bracket, and a lot of them are out there not doing anything. Now they call Osun a civil service state. Osun, with a people of about 5 million in population, have just about 25,000 of these people in the public service. That's just 0.5% of the entire population. So how do we get the rest of the people into real employment? Now, I am looking at a number of things. The first thing I've said that I want to make sure that electricity is generated, distributed, and transmitted in Osun. That will boost the economy because a lot of things have to do with electricity. And thank God, there is an amendment to the Constitution. We are waiting for the assent of the President so that the state can do that. And I dare say if that is done and I become governor, if all other governors slip off, by the grace of God, I'm going to be the first governor in the first Federal Republic of Nigeria to make sure that I generate, transmit, and distribute electricity to the people of Osun State. And when it is more than enough for us, we'll even sell to other states. Once we have that, tailors will be able to do their jobs. Bricklayers, carpenters, everybody that uses electricity one way or the other. And then I am also now thinking of having something in Osun State which is an ICT-based job creation hub. It is simple. It's just like what you have at the Silicon Valley in California. It's just like what you have at Karnataka State in Bangalore in India. And go and check the history of those two states. They were just struggling with other states in their respective countries before. If you take California, for instance, until oil became what it was for the rest of them, they all lined up for oil. But since 1971, when Silicon Valley started, California just rose to high heavens like that and is competing with the rest of the nations of the world.
Thank you very much. Candidate of the SDP, Mr. Goke Omigbodu, architect there. All right, let me bring in Honorable Yusuf Lasun, former Deputy Speaker, House of Reps. Speaking of unemployment, with the figures before me here, 37.3%. Well, let's be fair, this is a 2020 figure. What would you do to fix the unemployment problem? What do you think is at the root of unemployment in Osun State, and how do you plan to fix it if you do become governor?
Thank you very much. Any elected official has two options. One, is either you consume what you produce now or invest for the future. What we have been doing in Nigeria in the last 60 years is that we have always been consuming what we produce now, and there is no investment in future. So as the governor, government has 4 major areas to concentrate on. 1, you build infrastructure. 2, you build factories. 3, you promote your technology. And 4, you train people to have skill. That is the primary purpose of a government. If I go over it again, building of infrastructure, building of factories, improve on science and technology, and make sure people have skills. From all these 4, you discover that there is no direction you face, that you are not going to get people employed, and you are investing into the future. What we have refused to do is that the present generation, both the past and present generation, they have not taken care of the future generation. And so infrastructure, like I always said, must be attached to a particular thing. And so that's why any government at all, when you build school, you build good schools. When you build hospital, you build a state-of-art hospital. And you must invest in business. Government must build factories. And your technology must be at the top level, because the level of your development and the kind of power you have depend on your science and technology. And the kind of education we have in Nigeria today is not the education that is comparable with any education all over the world, simply because we don't have skill. And so when I concentrate on all these 4 areas, definitely in the first 4 years, I will be able to generate between 50 and 60,000 jobs for the people of Osun. Let me say this. There is something we have been doing consistently. We have been jumping the gun. There is the production level that will transit to manufacturing level and finally to the service sector. We have always been concentrating on service sector.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Lasun Yusuf. Well, now your turn. Incumbent governor and candidate of the All Progressives Congress.
Well, thank you.
In the last general election, you said you were going to enter into partnerships with private sector to create manufacturing companies, create jobs, and you promised at least 30,000 jobs. But at the time you assumed office, unemployment rate was 19%. About a year later, under your watch, it went up to about 24.7%. Subsequently, it went up to 37.3%, which Ngozi quoted earlier on. Now, what are the specific challenges that you have faced in this regard, and what do you intend to do differently this time around, based on lessons you have learned?
Thank you very much. You recall that we did Osun Investment Summit sometimes in 2019, and the reason for that is to attract sufficient investment into our state. I'm saying this categorically that we don't have less than about 10 industries now in Osun. If you go to the WO, you will see a number of companies coming together. So in the area of employment generation, we are really on course. But aside from that, what is important is to talk about skill acquisition. The white-collar job is not there any longer. I can't observe the number of students that are coming out, the graduates from all these universities now. We can't afford to have them in. So what we have done is to really do a lot of renovation of our technical colleges. We have 9 of them. As I speak, we have gone through rehabilitating about 5. And so we allow people to actually acquire skills, and we're ready to give them startup capital to start their business. In the area of small-scale industries, we've supported a number of them to create their own jobs, to be their own employers of labor. That's part of what we're trying to do to ensure that we're able to create sufficient number of jobs. What is important is to encourage people to acquire skill and then encourage them to start their own business and create jobs through that. Apart from taking care of themselves, to be able to create additional jobs, give them startup capital, which we are doing already, and encourage them to develop, expand, and create additional jobs. Equally, I recruited 1,000 teachers just a few months ago. I'm going to recruit more. We're equally recruiting 20,000 OES as part of deliberate effort at reducing employment rate in our state. With all this put together, I believe we are doing well in the area of job creation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To Dr. Akin Ogumbiye, how well do you think Osun is doing as far as unemployment is concerned? You said that you will create 100,000 jobs, pay outstanding pensions, gratuities in 6 months. I wonder how you hope to achieve this.
Well, thank you so much. Like I said, Osun economy has been based on civil service. We have 9,100 kilometers of farmland. Agriculture and agri-related agro-allied industries will form the major fulcrum upon which we are going to build these jobs. Again, if you look at the mining sector, we have 26 commercially viable solid minerals in Osun. We have not been able to have any investment strategy, any cohesive strategy to ensure that we take maximum advantage of this. If you look at the federal government initiative on artisanal miners, we are going to leverage on that to ensure that artisanal miners, we can set up a proper policy that will ensure that there is processing, there is processing center, there is excavator for all these artisanal miners, and we can set up something that is similar to a policy around mining. I can tell you that teachers are going to be recruited, and within 6 months, like I said, within 6 months of my government, by God's grace, we are going to take off local government elections, which has not been done in several years. If you carry out local government elections, we're going to create over 4,000 jobs from there. Again, like I said, if you look at our educational system, we need to encourage, we need to train teachers, we need to recruit adequate teachers for the subject. So, by God's grace, I will create 100,000 jobs from agriculture, from agro-allied industry, from mining, and of course, education. And again, we're going to empower our youth and our women through interest-free loan.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to you, Mr. Omigbodo. Many states of the Federation these days claim that they have a revenue problem, with allocations from the federal purse reducing. Now, Osun State has a GDP, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, of about $7.3 billion. Well, the second lowest in the Southwest, so the state can still do much better. What will you do if you were to become governor to raise the level of performance with regard to GDP and also internally generated revenue to make the state even more viable, more productive? Are you going to tax the people of Osun State and get them to pay more tax to get revenue?
Thank you. I'll just be building on the foundation that I laid about the job creation that I mentioned. Job creation in the form that I mentioned is all about also making sure that we sell to the world and getting others to come to us. When in California, eBay got into the place, they started paying taxes and things started moving. When in Bangalore, Wipros got in there, they started paying taxes, and these are people that came from all over the world to establish there because there was that hope that is ICT connected, and gradually everybody would just come in there. After Wipros got into Bangalore, Zoomka also went in there. We all have, a lot of people are seeing us from all over the world now, and all of those people just made sure that one way or the other, the economy was stimulated. These things are real. I'm discussing things that have happened in particular places before, and I am mentioning them. We don't have to tax people more than they are paying right now. If there is anything we need to do about taxes, make sure that those that are still trying to avoid the tax net are brought in. But by the time you have so many people paying tax, then it becomes less of a burden for somebody in particular. So these are some of the things that we are going to do, and then that gives me the opportunity to also mention that there are other things that I need to do about job creation. I called something MAT. You need to go through my manifesto. I called something MAT, and that is about mining, about agric, about tourism, and about technology. The only one I've mentioned about it is the technology part of it. So by the time we make sure that all these others are also touched, and we make sure, for instance, that miners in Osun are able to have equipment that may be leased to them by PPP arrangements, then things will improve and more income will come into Osun.
Thank you very much. Honorable Yusuf Lasso, the candidate of Labour Party. Let's talk about mining that Mr. Omigbodun just referred to. Artisanal mining is said to be an untapped sector in Osun State, and as a matter of fact, the activities, unethical activities of illegal miners has been referred to as a time bomb waiting to explode. How exactly will you address the issue of illegal mining in Osun, a state that has gold, columbite, and all manner of natural resources in abundance?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, you are supposed to be licensed if you want to go into mining. And at the state level, there must be some sort of regulation. People don't know that what we call science and technology today started from people who are not well informed, not quite educated, but with raw knowledge and initiative. The same thing is happening in Niger Delta. Instead of destroying this local refinery, we're supposed to call them, ask for their knowledge. So those who are doing illegal mining, we're supposed to warehouse them. And let's see, they have some knowledge we think they don't have. So when I get there, I'm going to make sure there's proper interaction with them, because I know they have some sort of technology which you think they don't have. And of course, one of the beautiful things about nature is that nature gave us the heart and the mineral resources inside it. So it is your ability to add value to land and the mineral resources that basically, first of all, form the primary platform of your economy. So if gold is found in abundance in Osun State, the whole of Ijesha, like people say, is sitting on gold. We are going to make sure that both the artisanal one and even the big ones are quite regulated outside the licenses they are going to. And don't forget that is one of the reasons why we are clamoring for devolution of power. If power is properly devoluted, that means mining will be controlled by the state. And so we can get the full grasp of it and get the full benefit of the technology, both the artisanal and the big ones, and be able to get the full benefit of the money itself. As it is now, nothing is properly being monitored. We are losing a lot of money, and we are losing money because the regulation is not there. What people just do, they go there, occupy the field, and do all sorts of things. So I'm going to make sure that I bring them together, make sure the mining sector is properly regulated.
Okay, well, let me come back to the candidate of the All Progressives Congress. Well, Governor Oyetola, your Chief Press Secretary, today, I think his name is Ismail Omekidon, wrote a piece in The Nation titled, "Osun needs serious person as governor, not a jester." Well, I know that there are quite a number of candidates on the ballot, but look at these three other men who are standing with you there. Which one? Is there any jester amongst them? Because I'm sure the people of Osun State don't want a jester in government house. We're talking seriously. Migration out of Osun State is a major issue. People go to Oyo State, they go to Lagos State for more economic opportunities. What are you planning to do if you were to get a second term to make sure that you check the migration out of Osun State to elsewhere for better opportunities? What are those new things you intend to do?
Thank you very much. First of all, what the other candidates are talking about in terms of mining, we're already implementing. I'm made to say that we've actually partnered with a lot of investors from Australia and some other places, and they're doing very well. We've produced the first gold bar in Osun. So as for artisanal miner, my intention is actually take our youth to be interested in mining. I'm a member of the Presidential Artisanal Mining Initiative, and the intention is to put it generate employment through mining by bringing youths together, give them necessary equipment, but ensure responsible mining to the extent that if you mine, you must remediate. You don't destroy the environment. So we're already working on that. Now, talking about migration, well, naturally, labor will migrate to where it is needed. The only thing is, if you want people to look inward, you create opportunities for employment. Mining is one of those major areas, I believe, people are interested in making a fortune out of mining. We invest in Nigeria, in Osun. I agree entirely that it is necessary for us to have a possibility of state controlling their mining sites. I mean, this thing is, for now, is on the exclusive list. If it is possible to put it on the concurrent list, then the state will have opportunity to legislate on them. Most times, these people come with licenses from Abuja. They don't even come to government. I've set up a JTF, particularly because of the challenges of security, to monitor the activities of illegal miners. So I believe with that, we should be able to avoid any opportunity of people, doing illegal mining and creating insecurity in our land. Thank you.
Great. Dr. Akin Ogumbi, how will you address, no clapping please, thank you very much. How will you address the same issue of illegal mining? As a matter of fact, it's been said that the activities of illegal miners is affecting negatively the very popular Osun River, polluting the waters. And on the other hand, how will you tackle the foreign illegal miners that continue to, disturb the environment in Osun?
Crisis that we have in the mining sector is a creation of government. This government has 5 licenses. Instead of partnering with internationally recognized mining companies, they chose to partner with Chinese. The Chinese that are there, and unfortunately, they are just mining. They are degrading the environment. Even like you said, the Osun River is a muddied. That is one river that has international event once a year. Because they refused to partner with standard mining company, these Chinese companies, they have the field day. You cannot tell us today, this is the number or quantity of gold produced in Osun today or in a month. That is an unfortunate development. We can leverage on the Presidential Artisanal Miner Initiative to ensure that we partner with standard mining organization who will come in here and will operate within available rules and regulations. Again, like I said, we can always work with these illegal miners. If you put them together in a structured way, you can get excavator for them, you can put in place a processing center, you can put in place a buying center. These are the ways in which you can get taxes and royalties for federal government. If that is done, then we'll have the advantage or the benefit of our gold. Unfortunately, today, we don't have anything as such we can call income from these resources. If I get there, I will ensure that we have record of everybody that's operating there, and we standardize the procedure by getting them excavator, buying the gold from them, and make it a major investment for government.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, please, no clapping, no cheers, no jeers. Please, can we have, yes. Okay, we'll take a short break now. When we return, the conversation will continue. Osun Governorship Debate 2022. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Please, quiet in the auditorium.
wanted to move faster and see more of the world, we found a way. We also found ways to connect beyond boundaries. And when an unprecedented pandemic tried to derail us, we found ways to get ahead.
Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Ready. Ready.
As your bank, we have stayed proactive, creating dynamic solutions and leveraging cutting-edge technology to drive global expansion into new markets. We rolled up our sleeves to be human together, doing more, innovating smarter, and always showing up for you. So come on board, let's give you more.
Access, more than banking. 34 million hectares of arable land. Over 200 million people. One nation. Home to Africa's fertilizer company. Dangote Fertilizer. Pure urea fertilizer. With one single-minded passion to feed Nigeria. Every bag is a potential, an aspiration to turn this green nation into the biggest food basket of Africa. Dangote Fertilizer.
In 1894, our first branch opened in Lagos, Nigeria. And we took our place in this new land brimming with possibilities and surprises. Take Kano, for instance, where the city's wealthiest trader made his first deposit. 20 bags of silver arriving on camelback. Aren't you glad that we offer online banking today? Expanding across the West African sub-region and beyond, our early presence made it possible for all hardworking Africans to build great things. So is it any wonder that not one, but two first bankers have gone on to become Nigeria's central banker? We are intricately woven into the fabric of society, supporting polo for over 100 years and pushing the limits of athletic performance. Rooted in tradition, but constantly leaning forward into the future. Are you coming?
You first, First Bank.
Adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. Contact us today and let us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
We started our journey over 7 years ago, connecting travelers to their favorite destinations. Since then, we've revolutionized how we want our passengers to feel while flying. That is why we've introduced our brand new Embraer 195E2 aircraft.
Everyone has a face they need to see.
We are on a mission to add new destinations to our ever-increasing fleet. Our Boeing 777 will take you on an international journey. Mumbai, Guangzhou, London, Johannesburg. And now, Airpeace is adding a new destination, Dubai.
If you're gonna fly, then you should fly with us on Airpeace.
Airpeace flies you from all our domestic routes to Dubai from Lagos at no additional cost.
On Airpeace.
The capital of Osun State, and this is Osun Debate 2022, of course brought to you live by Arise News Channel in conjunction with Enough is Enough. Candidates tonight vying for the seat of the governor of Osun State, Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi of the Accord Party, All Progressives Congress, Adeboyega Oyetola, incumbent governor, Labour Party, Honorable Yusuf Lasun, former Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, and of course Social Democratic Party candidate, Mr. Goke Obingbodun. Thank you all gentlemen for staying with us tonight on this very, very important debate. Let's start with you, incumbent governor of Osun State. Of course, we've been talking about the economy. Let's move on to security, a very, very important issue. And I'm just going to hit it straight on. The issue of Amotekun. Amotekun was inaugurated to, counter the challenges of insecurity in the Southwest. Of course, would you say that Amotekun has lived up to its billing? And would you subscribe to the idea that Amotekun should be armed? And also, would you subscribe to the idea that Osun people, the citizens of Osun, should bear arms, considering the prevailing security challenges in the country?
Well, thank you. Amotekun is doing well. It is the creation of the Southwest, like you mentioned, and it is a kind of novelty on its own. We have no less than about 400 of these people that have been recruited. They've been, well kitted, and they've been given necessary tools to work. The challenge, like you mentioned, is that they're not carrying arms. That is the challenge. But in terms of knowing the terrain, particularly in the question of kidnapping, they are very, very effective. What we have done is to allow them to integrate with the hunters to the extent that most of the conventional police or security agencies don't know the terrain. So Amotekun and hunters, when they combine together, they're able to provide additional security.
Should Amotekun bear arms?
I believe so. They should.
Should Nigerians bear arms?
Well, that's not an issue for today. I think if you start from the issue of having a state police, we'll get there, subsequently.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess this should be a subject that should be of interest to the three other candidates of the Accord Party, the Labour Party, and the Social Democratic Party. Do you feel threatened by the use of Amotekun in Osun State? Do you have any fears about violence in the coming elections? And would all of you be willing to sign a peace accord and give peace a chance? Because everybody in Osun State running for this election says, there's too much violence, we feel threatened. Let's start with you, Honorable Lasun Yusuf, and then the other two.
First and foremost, let's commend the Southwest governor for setting up Amatekun. As an indigenous of Osun State, I do not feel threatened because of one singular fact. Whatever you sow, you reap. So if you use violence against me today, because you are working under somebody, definitely you are going to reap it sometime, someday. But when you talk about security generally, I think we are just scratching the surface. The major thing is that police is on the exclusive list of the Constitution of Nigeria. What we need, when we get there, if there are going to be questions along that direction, is devolution of power, that we allow police, state police, local police, and that we should carry out. They do it in other climes. So my position here is that we should have state police, but we are being gagged by the current provision of the Constitution. I don't feel threatened by Amatekun. If they like, they can rig election for anybody. I don't care.
Yes, right. Mr. Omigbodun.
Sorry, your mic doesn't seem to be working. Can they fix the mic very quickly, please? Or speak closely into the mic. Okay, there's still that challenge.
Okay, while we're waiting, well, maybe yes. Dr. Gumbeye will go ahead.
Thank you so much. I would say Amatekun is a good creation of the Southwest. But we have to, we can't operate outside the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So Amatekun, I would not agree that it should carry arms. But when you talk of security generally, you look at when you have Chinese devastating the land in the name of mining, and you have Nigerian police guiding them, what do you expect? The Nigerian police is to actually arrest and prosecute. But when they are busy guiding private investors, it's unfortunate. So Amatekun, I will ensure that we collaborate, Amatekun and other institutional agencies of government, the police, the civil defense, we enhance their capability. We have to create clear understanding between the three or four of them and ensure that Amatekun will recruit more people into Amatekun and within the location so that the people who know the terrain can actually monitor. So we're going to recruit more personnel into Amatekun and ensure that they are from each locality of the state.
Thank you very much. Mr. Goke Omigbodun. No, please. Thank you. Mr. Goke Omigbodun, still on the issue of Amatekun, should they be armed to be more effective? Is that what will make them more effective? And would you subscribe to the growing cause that Nigerians should be allowed to bear arms? In Osun State, there's a growing concern about insecurity. If you're governor, would you mind if your citizens bear weapons?
Can you hear me properly now?
Very well. Thank you very much.
Great. I said I do not agree with the governor that Amatekun is doing well right now. Amatekun can do a lot better. The concept of Amatekun is fantastic. But when you have an Amatekun that is not well trained, they cannot be at their best output. When you have an Amatekun that is not well equipped, they cannot be at their best outputs. When you have an Amatekun that is being deployed for political activities, like a situation that I heard about that happened in Osogbo yesterday, it's really sad. We need to let Amatekun be what Amatekun should be. It should join part of the security architecture. Even beyond Amatekun, there are the others like the Manowar, like the Vigilante, like the Peace Corps, and all of them should be well trained. That's why I believe that technology should be deployed for them. About carrying arms, if they are trained enough and psychologically ready, they may be able to carry arms. But for citizens, I do not think the citizens should carry arms.
Well, Governor Etola, you might want to respond to that because he says that Amatekun is not doing well. He disagrees with you and he says that Amatekun is being used for politics. Have you been using Amatekun for politics?
Definitely not. I don't agree with that. They have been concerned about kidnapping, illegal mining and things like that. So I wonder where he's having his own information from. To the best of my knowledge, Amatekun is deployed to take care of security of our people, particularly in the area of kidnapping.
Please, no cheers, no jeers, no clapping. Please, let's respect the rules. But Governor Yetola, I'll still come back to you. Please, quiet in the auditorium. Now, quickly, Governor Yetola. One major concern in Nigeria is that the number of children who are out of school continues to increase. And in Osun State, we have, according to one report, about 68.52% of young boys out of school, about 31.48 girls, percentage-wise, out of school. Even if in absolute figures, what is quoted is still under 200,000. What do you intend to do if you were to be elected a second time to address this problem and ensure that human capacity is a major area of focus?
Well, thank you very much. I think if you go by the current enrollment, we have not less than about 150,000 of our youths, our pupils that have been enrolled into early schools, to the primary schools. The issue of out-of-school children is worrisome. And part of what we try to do is to even encourage this issue of school feeding, to attract them to want to stay in school. Sometimes the parents put a lot of pressure on them to do some little trading, which is not supposed to be. I think by and large, the education authorities have been going around. They have a committee that looks after the issue of school attendance, and it's compulsory for parents to ensure that their children go to school as expected.
Right. All right, let me come to you, Honorable Yusuf Lasun of the Labour Party. Still on the issue of schools. Well, so much has been said about, innovations to improve education in Osun State, whether you're talking about Okpoimo or the state of the schools. But on the one hand, we're hearing people say that the schools are becoming more and more dilapidated. Do you agree? And what do you think about the quality of food in the schools that's supposed to act as an incentive to attract children to schools? What are your thoughts on that, and what would you do differently if you became governor?
Thank you very much. My own position on education has been consistent. As a member of House of Representatives, within 8 years, I rebuilt completely 17 schools, both primary and secondary school. All of them seated here, they are living witnesses. And so, because a future without properly trained children is doomed. I'm here, I have the opportunity to be here today, primarily first and foremost because of my education. When I get back, I'm going to continue to improve on infrastructures and to make sure that we get our children back to school. In those days, I tell people, I didn't get to read under electricity until I was in Form 5 in secondary school. Yet I made a Division 1. So I'm going to concentrate on primary and secondary education because that is the bedrock of a society. Today, it is true that the level of education here is nothing to write home about, and we are going to improve on that.
All right. Unfortunately, our audience continue to disregard the rules of this debate. I would really urge you to cooperate with us on this.
Well, Mr. Migbodun, the same question for you. What do you intend to do to achieve the objective of qualitative education in Osun State?
All right, thank you. Because I read education, I'm a trained teacher, I understand that education is about critical consciousness of oneself, rules, environment, and people keeping to them. So you can be sure my supporters will not flout rules like all those other supporters are doing. Now, your statistics are quite interesting because I also checked the statistics of UNICEF based on the multiple indicated cluster survey that they had, And I would have thought ordinarily that we had 26.9% out of school children in the primary school age and 10.5% in the secondary school age. But if they are as high as you have indicated, that's alarming. The biggest problem that I have found out about school children is not about provision of schools. In fairness to the government of Osun, Osun State has about 1,277 schools. Public. Private are 1,965. So there are enough schools out there. But poverty is driving people out of school. Because so many parents are poor, rather than allowing their children to go to school, they deploy them into selling things along the road. So what do I need to do about that? I have said it. We need to do something about the economy. Once we tackle the problem of the economy, then the children can be allowed to go to schools.
All right.
Public, private, out there, let there be enough for the parents to take care of those children and release them. They'll be able to go to school. Don't clap for me, please.
Thank you very much. No. Why? You just countered. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please. Thank you. Calm down, please. Settle down. Dr. Akin Ogubi, candidate of the Accord Party, still talking education. 70% of out-of-school children in Osun State are actually boys. What does that say to you? What do you think is responsible for that? And is that going to be a priority for you if you become governor? How will you go about it very quickly in 1 minute?
Thank you so much. It's unfortunate that we have quite a large number of boys out of school. Why? It's actually because of suffering of the people, poverty in the land. But basically, what I will do is I will make compulsory free primary education. Make it compulsory. Number 2, I will pay all students in public school all their WAEC fee. I will pay the WAEC fee because I had an experience. My village, they came to me last year that 117 people registered for WAEC, only 15 people pay. It is not because they don't want to go to school. It's because the parents lack the resources. And the governor said, he's feeding students. He's feeding puppies. Why are you feeding puppies when you can actually go into agricultural productivity to enhance that these parents are empowered and they are able to feed their children? It's amazing that this is where we found ourselves. So by God's grace, I will make sure free compulsory primary education.
How will you fund free education? Because somebody must pay for it.
Yeah. If you have sufficiently created wealth, like I said, we can create wealth in agriculture. We can have ICT ops that can generate about 50,000 jobs. We're going to empower the women who are actually responsible for these puppies. We will empower them by giving them interest-free loan. So, and of course, I talked about mining. So if all these resources are well channeled and we can get income from them, we can create wealth from there, then we'll be able to fund education and any other, even free health services.
Thank you.
Well, Governor Oyetola, a sitting governor and incumbent governor's re-election period. It's really a referendum on his first term. And you've been part of this process in Osun State, I think, since 2010 or thereabouts. So over the years, what do you think you've really done for the people of Osun State that they should feel compelled to re-elect you, especially against the background of the fact that your party seems to be divided and many of your members and former supporters, they've gone to other places, including, I think I can still see one of them, on the podium, but it's okay. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much. I've done a lot in the area of infrastructure, in the area of education, in the area of security, in the area of welfare. I've constructed no less than 500 kilometers of roads across the state. I've done the iconic Olaya that's never been done before. It's the first of its kind here. And I'm doing Ilobu road down, for instance. It's been touched. So I still have a lot I want to do in that respect. Equally, I've done so much in the area of health. Like I mentioned, and fertilized no less than 320 health centers across the entire state. I've done the General Hospital to Ejigbo and Ifetedo. I've commissioned through the office of the SDG a 100 beds just 3 days ago. I've established the Osun Health Insurance Scheme that is the second best in Nigeria and the first in Southwest. So with all these put together, I believe I've done so well to merit going for a second term. Thank you.
Honorable, hold on please. Thank you very much. Honorable Lasun Yusuf, you just heard what the incumbent governor said. He says, look, I've done excellently well. Now the people of Osun should give me another 4 years. I wonder what magic that you can perform to outdo what he says he has done. What's your response to his claims?
Is it by building Ilobu Road? When I was a member of the House of Representatives, like I said, I covered so many areas. Education. Remember I told you that I rebuilt 17 schools. 2, training and skill acquisition. 3, empowerment. And 4, valid and reputable representation. Here in this federal constituency, I think I'm one of the most popular politicians in Osun. When service is what I will concentrate on. And let me properly answer the governor. He's building Ilobu Road, but I'm doing Ojutu Bridge. If you go to the budget of Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2017, 2018, 2019, money was appropriately appropriated for that particular road. Why it was not done by the federal government, I don't know. So it's an afterthought because I'm from Ilobu, and I don't expect the governor to say one of the areas is because it's building.
Please, quiet in the auditorium. Please, silence in the auditorium. Please, we need to save time. We need to manage time. And we have very limited time. Please. Okay, Honorable Lasun Yusuf, you can't go yet. Very quickly. You have described yourself in another, situation as a practical farmer. I hope I'm quoting you correctly. Now, how do you intend to transit from being a practical farmer into a governor who wants to place the right emphasis on agriculture?
Thank you very much. In 2020, I wrote a proposal to one of the commercial banks seeking for a 2.2 billion naira loan to build palm kernel and palm and oil vegetable factory. And it was at that point that I discovered that the loan being facilitated by Central Bank was almost like a scam. After almost 1 year, they approved 950 million naira for me, and that I should provide 150% collateral. What it means is that it's only government that can use agriculture to turn an economy around. What does it? Government is a continuum, government is credible, and government has character. So as an individual, I've been doing my farming. I have 500 well-developed farms in Iloba and Oko. And of course, because of politics, I have 1,200 acres of land somewhere that is under. So I'm going to use farming by using every government presence to attract loan, build value chain, and make sure we employ our people. Today, I've just paid salary of my staff this morning. They are about 127 on my farm. So as the governor, you should be sure that I'm going to employ thousands of people. I know it. I do it. I'm a farmer. And I will give example. If you take palm oil, for example, you can turn it to vegetable oil. You can do a lot of things with farming. So I'm going to do it because I'm a practical farmer.
Right. Great. Thank you very much. All right, let me bring in Architect Goke Omigbodun. You just heard Honorable Yusuf Lasun said he's the most popular politician, or better said, he's a very popular politician in Osun State. I wonder what you think about that. Is he more popular than your good self? And on the issues that we're talking about, What do you think is the most pressing challenge for the people of Osun that if you are given the next 4 years, you'll be able to tackle very quickly?
Well, thank you very much. I will concede to Honorable Lasun Yusuf that he is very popular until 16th of July, when we will know who is the most popular among the whole lot of us. For now, I need to refer to my manifesto. And I need to refer to it because I classified its presentation into 2 areas. I call some the incidentals, and your question has to do with tackling the incidentals. Number 1, I said that general poverty must be reduced in Osun.
How?
That is pressing. I've mentioned that. In fact, the area perhaps that I have not mentioned is the fact, and I do not like a situation where we pretend about situation of things. The government of the day, whether directly or indirectly, is just paying party leaders at ward level when there is a lot that can be done with that money. I also spoke about uneven development. What belongs to Ilobu should go to Ilobu. What belongs to Iragbiji should go to Iragbiji. But what belongs to Oshogbo should be left in Oshogbo. There should be no attempt, whether clandestine or openly, to take anything like the Air Force Base to go to Iragbiji when it should be in Oshogbo. These are some of the uneven developments that we need to tackle. I'm also going to make sure that the outstanding debt of Osun State is tackled. We need to begin to see how we pay this, especially the pensioners, and outstanding 30 months of house salaries that people are being owed. We need to be sincere about some of these things. We should stop pretending.
Time up. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, please. Okay, Dr. Gumbi, let me come back to you. Well, first, before I ask you the question, fact checkers send this in now. Earlier on, you made a claim. You said this government has 5 licenses. Instead of partnering with internationally recognized mining companies, they chose to partner with the Chinese. Now, the fact checkers say that's a false claim.
Yep.
While it is true that Osun State has 5 valid mineral titles, they are not all awarded to Chinese companies. And this is the verification by our fact checkers. They say, according to data from the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, there are 5 valid mineral titles in Osun. 2 of these titles are owned by private companies. A Nigerian, Karim Mutiu Adubi, and a Canada-based mining exploration company, Segilola Resources Operating Limited. 2 belong to Nigerian Mining Corporation Incorporated, and the last title belongs to Omoluabi Mineral Promotion Company Limited. Fact checked. But I wanted to ask you, what explains your determination to be governor? In the last exercise you ran, you were disappointed by the PDP. This time around, you also didn't get a chance on the platform of the PDP. Are you running out of conviction or because you just want to be a spoiler for the chances of the PDP?
Not at all. I'm very convinced I have what it takes to be governor. I have a company that I founded, Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC, that employs 5,000 people in Nigeria today. We have operation in Liberia, we have operation in Niger and in Cameroon. So with all this experience, and I'm equally well trained. So I'm not a spoiler or whatsoever for anybody. I'm doing it with conviction and with the passion that I can run Osun State. What I have done in the corporate world, I want to come and replicate here. I've said so many things are wrong with the current government. That is, they're not creating jobs, they're not creating value, and these are the things I want to come and do to give Osun a new start, give Osun a new beginning. It is doable based on my experience. And on the issue of the fact checks, yes. Well, this is politics. So whether you call it fact check, but the question I want to ask is, who owns Omoluabi? Let's quickly do the fact checks. Who is the owner of Omoluabi, that license? Who owns it? You can do fact checks again. We are saying we don't have the benefit of the gift of God for Osun State. The oil producing...
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, to the incumbent governor, Gboyega Oyetola, who owns Omoluabi You might want to respond to that. Before I let you respond to it, there's this issue, whether you can help us, confirm it. A piece somewhere that says, Mr. Governor, can you hear me?
Is it working?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I wonder how you'd react to this, that 47% of 2022 budget actually spent on cars instead of the much needed infrastructure in Osun State.
I don't know where
how true is that?
I don't know where they're getting their figures from. That's not correct.
What's the
budget
correct
performance
situation?
has been, well, I don't know the exact percentage now, but for 2021, for instance, the performance of the budget was 86.4%. And the ratio of the capital project from there is about 64. So I don't know where they
Is that 2022 budget?
No, well, 2021. 2022
No,
is still
I'm talking
running.
about the 2022
2022
budget.
is still running, but that's not correct. That is not correct. Even the issue of vehicles, what we have
What's
done.
the percentage that you actually set aside for cars
What
and
we have
other
done,
incidentals?
let me explain. What we have done is to lease. Because if you don't have the resources to procure capital projects, you can lease and pay gradually. So I don't know where the guy is getting this information from. That's not correct. The cars we have bought are on lease, and we're just paying gradually for about 3 years. So that figure is not correct. You can do your fast check, and you confirm.
Fact checkers, I'm sure they're on it. Thank you.
Okay, very quickly, Honorable Lasso Yusuf. Your critics say that your platform is not so strong in Osun State and that your campaign has been very cold, that you've not been seen campaigning all across the state. Is that a strategy to just limit the scope of your campaign? And then very quickly, you were Deputy Speaker in the House of Representatives. What bills did you sponsor as a member of the House of Reps or as Deputy Speaker for the benefit of the people of Osun State?
Thank you very much. Let me start from the last one. I said it when I was doing my introduction, that my major contribution to the Constitution of Nigeria was that section that says if you acted on behalf of your principal and you have taken oath of office once and you got elected into that office the second time, you cannot run for election the third time. That's my bill. Go and do the fact check. So I did that. And that is monumental for you to be there and be able to sponsor a bill to turn into part of the Constitution. It's monumental. That is it. Then about my campaign, those who are saying that, are they politicians? They've forgotten that I've run for 3 general elections and I've run for an election that was an equivalent of presidential election. Being the Deputy Speaker of Nigeria is huge. It was an election amongst your colleagues, and you know what it means. How do you campaign to your colleagues that come and vote for me? Am I going to say you are better than them? It's a strategy. July 16, Lasso Yusuf is going to be announced as governor-elect, and it's going to shock all of you.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Well, since it's barely 2 weeks to the election, July 16, let me ask you, Architect Tomi Gbodun, and it's a question I'd like all 4 of you to address because it's a very, very, very serious issue. The issue of vote buying to influence the outcome of the election. My first question to all of you is, have you perchance been involved in vote buying? Your proteges, your associates? And can you make a vow to the people of Osun, indeed Nigerians, that you will dissociate yourselves from anything that has to do with vote buying, or better still, vote trading? Architect Tomi Gbodun.
Oh, well, I can tell you for free that all 4 of us here are going to deny vote buying. Why? But the facts are there on the ground. Some parties have imported people, and they have also imported a lot of money. Even as we are seated in this hall, because we know ourselves, there are people from Borno, from Kogi, from all over the places. They've taken over all the hotels. They are already buying the votes. They will deny it. But one thing I need to tell the people of Osun, if you sell your vote, you are selling your future. This is an opportunity for us to have a change. If you vote in a party that has robbed your children the opportunity of education in primary school, in secondary school, in the universities, and you are arming them again to rob you further, then you are not yet ready to end SARS. The real meaning of SARS is specially armed people that are armed with your votes and your mandate to rob you dry. So don't sell your votes to them anymore. Make sure you vote your conscience. Once you do that, you're going to break that cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
Dr. Akin Orebi, Ogumbi.
Thank you so much. We know people are buying votes. When somebody who is highly placed in Nigeria stood on the podium in Ekiti State to say, if you don't give us your vote, we will not give you money. I expected federal government to act quickly, but they won't act because it is the government of APC. So we expected, and they have already flooded everywhere. What I can only appeal is, vote buying is illegal. It is against the INEC rules. Please don't sell your vote. Osun people, the power of governance is in your hands. Make sure you don't sell it. Every vote sold is a lost opportunity for you, it's a lost opportunity for your family, and it's a lost opportunity for future yet unborn. Please vote accordingly. Vote according to your conscience. That is the point I want to make.
Thank you.
Okay, Governor Oyetola, maybe I will rephrase the question for you.
Yes.
Now, in this same state, in this Osun state, we were told that, a candidate whom we're still expecting, by the way, I understand he's still on his way. That's Senator Adeleke. Maybe we join us before we wrap it all up. He's been quoted as saying that he will spend pound sterling, he will spend dollars, he will spend euro. So, you are the incumbent governor. You allow your challenger to come and spend you. What are you planning to spend? Yen or rupees?
Let me say this. It is only when you think you are not popular enough that you'll be trying to give people money to vote for you. I'm the candidate to beat anytime, any day. So, my performance speaks for me, and I don't have sufficient time to go through it. Is it the issue of the food that has been given to citizens of this state since April last year that we're going to talk about?
Giving food.
Is it the health issue? Is it the support I'm giving to the women with the microcredit agency that has disbursed more than 4 billion naira? So I have enough to be able to convince the people that by any standards, I'm the best candidate for the job. And in any case, given the level of campaign I've gone to not less than 27 local governments out of 30. And you could see things for yourself. You could see the jubilation, the excitement. I'm going to win that election come 16th July this year.
All right, thank you. The candidate of the Labour Party, Honorable Yusuf Lasun, the issue of vote buying, how much of a concern is that to you? And how will you reassure the people of Osun that you will not be involved in any way in vote trading, like some refer to it?
Thank you very much. I will start by saying what happened in a party some few weeks back in Abuja and a follow-up in Ekiti demonstrates that Nigeria is moving towards the precipice. It's sad. People are just dodging it. When one vote will attract $25,000. When one votes on the day of general election, we attract 20,000 naira. I don't have that kind of money. I'm coming out with my integrity, my intellect. I don't have the billions. And what it shows, let me tell you the danger in it. If we allow vote buying the way it happened in Abuja, in that party, and in Ekiti, it shows that it's only people sitting in government that can partake in the succeeding election. Nobody can come from outside to come and contest against people who are already in government. And it's dangerous. And how do other people who are capable, who have the mindset to change the environment, will be able to come in? Because it's only people in government that will have access to that kind of money. I'm appealing to the people of Osun. I don't know what to tell them. If I ask them not to collect money and they are hungry, what do I do? If they collect, what do I do? So mine is just vote for me on July 16, and the deed is done.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, Mr. Omigbodun, let's come back to you. Quickly, according to a report by the USAID, United States Agency for International Development, mortality rate in Osun State is higher than the average of 62 deaths per 1,000 live births, which we have in lower middle income sub-Saharan African countries.
Infant mortality, is that what
Yes, mortality rate, infant mortality rate. Yeah,
I want us to be specific.
Infant mortality. Yes, that's why I talked about live births. Okay. Now, what will you do to address the health challenges in Osun State if you were to get the opportunity to become governor?
Well, one thing that is in my manifesto is that wherever I see anything that is good, that any past government has done, I want to give them credit and see how I can build on it. I am impressed so far that there is something called the Osun Health Insurance Scheme. And we need to make sure that it functions better. When people are healthy, when people are taken away from poverty, if you check your statistics very well, right now in Osun State, about 47% of the people live below poverty line, which is one of the worst in the Federation. The average is 42.6 in the Federation. So when there is poverty, naturally, babies will die when they are born because some of them will not even be born in the hospitals. There are no, and then one thing again, recently they said they rehabilitated 332 maternity wards. I visited some of them. They are just glorified buildings, painted, no equipment, nobody working in them. They need to be equipped and they need to be made functional.
All right, thank you very much. Let me come to the incumbent governor. I'm sure you'd want to respond to what he has just said. That the 332 maternity wards are just glorified. I wonder with the words that you use there.
We should separate. Separate politics from facts.
Can you give us the facts then? That's why you have this opportunity to respond to what he has just said.
These are functional health centers with adequate drugs being supplied on a regular basis.
But in spite of that, 70% of 1,000 live births, 70 children die. Why?
Well, the issue here is this: if they don't take the nursery inoculation, I think that's the area we need to look at. The parents must be ready to ensure they get these children vaccinated, particularly at the early stages of their life. That is the major concern. It's not the question of the health center not functioning.
What are you doing about the inoculation drive then?
No, we're doing that. I mean, the Ministry of Health has been doing a lot of that. And I've been particularly involved in ensuring that I flag off most of these things to attract the parents to come to bring their children. Sometimes religion plays some roles. Some people believe you don't have to inoculate your children for one reason or the other. We're educating them, but I've been particularly very involved personally. So it's not correct to say that these health centers are glorified centers. That's not correct. That's politics. And we should separate politics from facts.
Right.
Okay, Dr. Ngubi, do you share the same view with the governor?
Well, I say facts don't lie. The fact is what you have read out. For what I know in Osun State, all the health centers and health facilities are just glorified buildings. There is actually nothing there. That is why 70 out of 100 that they are dying. For me, I will ensure that
70 out of 1,000.
Out of 1,000. That is why they are dying. Because for me, I will ensure that hospitals are well equipped. I will retrain all the medical personnel. I will ensure that more medical personnel are recruited. And of course, I will have free health facility for childbirth, for infants up to age 12, and for people 60 years and above. They will get free health facility.
It's free in Australia anyway. It's free.
Okay.
It's free, but they're dying.
Honorable
It's free in Australia.
Lasso Yusuf.
But they're dying.
How will you tackle the challenge of infant mortality in Osun State? And the issue of health insurance, only 3.7% of Osun population is covered in the state under the health insurance scheme, that's the HIS. What are your plans? Do you have any plans? Lay that out for us.
First of all,
this question is actually to Honorable Lasso Yusuf. Thank you very much. But you'll have an opportunity to say something about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. There are 4 areas that are important here. First, you must address the issue of whether those hospitals are well equipped. 2, consider the population, the increase in population, the density. You must consider their locations, because some of these hospitals, yes, they are still functioning, but they are serving higher percentage of the population. I was born in a hospital 61 years ago. The same hospital today, a lot of people will attend it. Number 3, we have to see their medical personnel, doctors, pharmacists, laboratory technologists. We are going to recruit them. Then finally, I will go by the way of late Professor Oliko Iranson Kuti, who was a major proponent of primary healthcare system. What it means is that you must have a functional primary health center in the headquarters of every local government, where there will be functional laboratory, functional theaters, and doctors must be able to reside in those localities. The reason why that mortality rate is very high is that most of these doctors don't reside in those localities. They go there in the morning to work and come to the city in the night. So when they are called upon, they are nowhere to be found.
Thank you, Honorable Lasso Yusuf. Well, we'll start wrapping up now. And by way of wrapping up and winding down, we have just a few minutes left. We'll just take a minute each just to wrap up or ask each other questions, but you do not have more than a minute each. Let's start with you, Mr. Omigbodun.
Well, what I just want to tell the people of Osun is that which I have defined as that special armed robbery squad of politicians in particular political parties, because they are armed with your mandate, should be stopped. This is actually the time to end SARS. That SARS that everybody was out there fighting is not the SARS that ought to be fought. The real SARS are those that are milking you dry, stealing the future of your children, and coming back to buy the future generations ahead of you. We come here, we have said so many things here tonight. I am sad that some of these things are not true. People will tell you that something is happening at Osogbo Grammar School. I took Osogbo leaders there, nothing happening there. Go and check Human Angle story about health centers in Inisha, in Obaile, in Obaoke, in Ward 6, along with that local government, between Ile Oluode and Ile Oruboka. Nothing happening in those places. End of lies must be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Governor Gwegoyotola, in 1 minute, you can respond to what he said. He said nothing is happening, that the claims really have been empty.
Architect Omigbodun is here to tell lies. First of all, the number of primary healthcare centers in Osun may not be less than 800. What I've said is I've only revitalized 332 health centers, 1 per ward. And that's the minimum standard of healthcare, 1 per ward. I have not told you that I've renovated all the primary health centers in Osun. So please get the facts right. Again, talking about the issue of the insurance, health insurance scheme, is about the best, really.
At 3.7%?
Well, the issue is that we can't take care of the entire populace. That can be. The only thing is that the workers of the state have been taken care of, you pay a premium of about 7,500 or so. You are covered, your children are covered. So that should not be too much for anybody who is looking for health care to pay. We subsidize it.
Right, thank you very much.
Seriously, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Dr. Akin Ogunbi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Osun State, I just want to encourage you to vote for Accord. Vote for Akin Ogunbi. Vote for Accord. Vote for growth and productivity. Vote for prosperity. A new Osun is very, very possible. Whatever anybody says today, you know that I'm capable to give you a good leadership. Vote for Accord. Vote for a new beginning. Vote for prosperity and growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please, silence in the auditorium. Please. No cheers, no heckling. We're almost done. Honorable Osun Yusuf.
1 minute.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Osun Yusuf, an engineer, an investor, an entrepreneur, a farmer, and by the side, a politician. And I'm a critical stakeholder in Osun economy. Most people who are contesting for position in Osun only have their residential houses. When anything goes wrong, they pick their portmanteau, like we say it when we were young, and they run away. I have nowhere to run to. I'm a critical stakeholder here. I will create economy here, and I've always been saying it. There is no economy here, but I will create economy here. And I'm already contributing to the economy of Osun State. Once again, I just implore the people of Osun to please vote for me. I've been tested once. And this is another chance to lift Osun out of poverty. And you can only lift Osun out of poverty by having well-trained children, by creating economy,
Thank you
by
very
creating
much.
wealth.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. This is where we say thank you so much to our viewers around the world, and of course, right here, the audience here. Thank you so much. This has been Osun Debates 2022, brought to you by Arise News in conjunction with
Before we go, Ngozi, I think the candidates should shake hands. And
Yes,
then we're
I'll
behind
take a
for a
picture
photo
very quickly.
opportunity.
Thank
Please
you
shake
very
hands, embrace each other. You know.
Would like to see an embrace, please.
Embrace each other, shake hands. Yes, that's the spirit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
It's been Osun Gubernatorial Debates 2022, coming to you live from Osun.
The Minister of Defense, on a visit to Kuje prisons earlier today, confirmed that more than 60 Boko Haram fighters who were in custody there had escaped following last night's terrorist attack on that facility.
Certainly not the first attack of this nature on a prison harboring terrorists in recent history of Nigeria, but this one, to all intents and purposes, carries with it a demoralizing sense of foreboding, coming at a time when the country is only a few months away from critical elections.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has responded to this heightened threat in a tweet. A few hours ago, he says, and I quote, "By the attack on the medium security custodial center Kuje, I am disappointed with the intelligence system. How can terrorists organize, have weapons, attack a security installation, and get away with it? I am expecting a comprehensive report on this shocking incident." End quote. Hello and welcome. This is Newsnight. I am Adesua Omorwan.
And I am Amaka Ude Walker. Our special coverage of the Kuje prison attack starts now.
The Nigeria Correctional Center says more than 443 inmates of the medium security custodial center, Kuje, Abuja, are still at large following an attack on the facility, where the attack, which was carried out by suspected terrorists, led to the jailbreak of 879 inmates. But as at press time, 443 have been rearrested by security agents after a manhunt was launched. Arise security correspondent